In an arithmetic series, the sum of the first two n terms is equal to the sum of the next n terms. If the first term is 12, the common difference is 3, find the non-zero value of n. So if we take this sentence, the sum of the first two n terms is equal to the sum of the next n terms, and we turn it into a formula. So the sum of the first two n terms is equal to the sum of the next n terms. So sum, we're going to replace with s, and we're going to stick on 2n. So the sum of the first two n terms is going to be represented by s2n, is equal to, we've got an equal sign, the sum of the next n terms. So again, s represents sum, and if this sum is 2n, then the next n terms is going to be 3n minus 2n. So it's going to be s2n equals s3n minus s2n. So this represents the sum of the next term after this one. So let's say, for example, if this had been s5n, so the sum of the first 5n terms, then it would be equal to s6n minus s5n. If this had been the sum of the first 10n terms, so if this had been s10n, it would be equal to s11n minus s10n, and so on. So s2n is equal to s3n minus s2n, because this will represent the next n terms, the sum of the next n terms. Okay, so then what we have to do is get rid of the minus s2n by adding s2n to both sides. So that will cancel out. And then s2n plus s2n gives us 2s2n. So there's an invisible 1 stuck in front of that term, an invisible 1 stuck in front of that one. So 1 plus 1 makes 2. So 2s2n is equal to s3n. So we just brought down the s3n there. So once this is set up, the rest of it is pretty straightforward. So we were also told in the question that the first term is 12. So a is going to be equal to 12 because a represents the first term. And we were told that the common difference is 3. So d will be equal to 3. So now we just have to substitute into this formula. So we're going to bring down the 2 in front and put brackets around it. And then s2n, we're going to use our sum of series formula, Sn, and we're going to swap every n in this formula for 2n. So every n in this formula gets swapped for 2n, the a will get swapped for 12, and the d will get swapped for 3. So instead of n over 2, it's going to be 2n over 2. So I got the 2n from there, 2n over 2. 2 multiplied by a becomes 2 multiplied by 12 because a is the first term. N minus 1 becomes 2n minus 1 because remember we're subbing in 2n in place of every n. And then the d becomes 3. Then we do the same on the right hand side, s3n. We're going to swap the n for 3n. So instead of n over 2, it's 3n over 2. 2 multiplied by a becomes 2 multiplied by 12 because again a is the first term. N minus 1 becomes 3n minus 1 because we've got 3n there, so we put 3n in place of every n. And then d is 3 because the difference is 3. And then we just have to multiply this out and solve for n. So 2 multiplied by 2n gives us 4n, so that's 4n over 2. 2 by 12 is 24. 2n by 3 is 6n. Minus 1 by 3 is minus 3. And then we have 2 by 12 is 24. 3n multiplied by 3 is 9n. Minus 1 multiplied by 3 is minus 3. Now at this point we can cancel out the n's and cancel out the 2 in the denominator. So it's going to be 4 brought down here and 3 brought down here. And then we just have to tidy up inside the brackets. 24 minus 3 is 21 and bring down the 6n. 24 minus 3 is 21 and bring down the 9n. 4 by 6n is 24n. 4 by 21 is 84. 3 by 9n is 27n. 3 by 21 is 63. Then 24n minus 27n is minus 3n. So bringing that 27 over the equal sign becomes minus 27n. And 24n minus 27n is minus 3n. And then 63 minus 84 is minus 21. So bringing that 84 over the equal sign, it becomes minus 84. So 63 minus 84 is minus 21. And then minus 21 divided by minus 3 is going to be 7. So n is equal to 7. So we found the non-zero value of n to be n is equal to 7. So the tricky part of this question is just setting up this equation at the start. So we got that equation from this sentence. We literally wrote out what we were told. So the sum of the first 2n terms is going to be written as s2n is equal to, is written as an equals, the sum of the next n terms. So if we have s2n, then the next term, or the sum of the next n terms, is going to be s3n minus s2n. And then what we did was we added s2n to both sides so that that cancelled out. And then we had s2n plus s2n is 2s2n, because 1 plus 1 makes 2, and that's equal to s3n. And after that we just subbed into our formula using our sum of series formula, and then we solved for n.